All right, the mainstream media, the mob, their hypocrisy knows no bounds. NBC being called out for two very different tweets. One praising a protest in Brooklyn with no social distancing. The other slamming President Trump's planned Oklahoma rally. Even websites like Mediaite and some others, they are taking notice of, that massive hypocrisy. Here with reaction, White House Press Secretary Kayleigh McEnany. First of all, I don't know what you get paid. You're way underpaid. Number two, I could never do your job. Number three, you're doing a great job considering the conditions you work with the mob. Let's talk. I mean, those two tweets, what was it, within an hour, right?
Yeah.
I think it speaks volumes.
Less than an hour and a half, CBS had a rendition of the same tweets. And look, this is so inherently contradictory. This is how much they have Trump derangement syndrome. They see 1 million people registering for a rally, so they're so contradictory, praising the crowd of protesters, criticizing the 1 million people who signed up for a Trump rally. We saw this with the churches when President Trump opened the churches, socially distanced. They criticized that, but then at the same breath, laud the protest a week later. It is so wrong. The people see directly through this, and it's all because President Trump's succeeding.
Okay, let's now go to all of these issues. Now the president, we didn't have any reforms after Ferguson, after Baltimore, after Cambridge. That was on Barack and Joe's watch. Now the president is going to put in reforms. No other president, like a lot of issues, he will do what other presidents can never get done. Criminal justice reform, opportunity zones, lowest unemployment for every demographic in the country. Historic lows, I expect a V recovery. Now he will deal with issues, more training. What can we expect from the president?
Yeah, this is a big deal, Sean. You're exactly right when you say for 8 years, President Barack Obama and Vice President Joe Biden couldn't get it done, but takes a businessman like President Trump to come in and say, how can I do this creatively in a way that protects police officers, but also is real substantive change? This will be an incentive structure for police departments across the country to implement correct training so that things like what we saw with George Floyd never happen again, that tragic killing, but at the same time, funding our police officers, bolstering them, not defunding them, as the despicable congresswomen like AOC and Ilhan Omar have suggested we should do.
Okay, defund, dismantle, dissolve. Okay, that's not going to end well, Kayleigh. You don't need to be a brain surgeon at all to see that. Now we also know, for example, governors refuse to ask for the president's help. They have to ask for the help. Unless, if it gets so bad, then the president will use the 1807 Insurrection Act, which even Attorney General Barr says he has the right to do, but only if it gets to that point. We're not at that point, in my opinion, but we might if this keeps going on.
Yeah, what we're seeing in Seattle is despicable. Look, over my shoulder, when the D.C. mayor, the liberal D.C. mayor, got a chance to control the streets, as she's supposed to do, this church burned. St. John's Church burned. Officers got injured. When President Trump came in and said enough is enough, the National Guard is being surged, it was a different scene in D.C. President Trump
Minneapolis, correct?
And Minneapolis. That's exactly right. But what we're seeing in Seattle is grotesque. Taking over 6 blocks of a city, defunding police through the anarchical actions of a mob. It is
and
crazy.
The governors have to ask the president.
That's right. And they won't, because they've got a liberal governor.